Howdy howdy, this is Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover round 1 results for the Black Panther Civil War and Green Goblin arenas. Then I do some quick past trend analysis to come up with some round 2 predictions. So first for the round 1 results. So Black Panther Civil War 4-star feature came in at 9 million for his cutoff, with the top 10% coming in at 4.7 million, and then we had the 11% shard tier coming in just over 2 million. Then we jump over to the 4-star basic. So for the Green Goblin, he came in at 3.1 million, with 11 to 25% shard tier coming in at 1.57 million. And lastly, for the Black Panther Civil War 3-star feature arena, you were able to grab him with the top 10% cutoff at 716,000, with 11 to 25% shard tier cutoff at 640,000. So all in all, this is pretty much what we expected. I think it's always kind of what's the 4-star basic going to look like? I think the overwhelming majority felt that he would be in that 3.5 million, but there was even some folks who were thinking he might get to 4 million plus kind of thing. So to see him come in at 3.1 million, maybe that's a little bit of surprise that he was a little lower than expected, but not a big shocker. It's still kind of in the ballpark that we expected. Speaking of the kind of expected cutoffs, here are how my round 1 predictions did against the actuals. So 9.5 million, that's right within that 5% sweep spot from the actual. So that's definitely an A prediction. The 3.5, again, this was kind of what I was thinking based off of, but most thought he'd be in that 3 to 3.5 million range, but there was some folks even thinking, and other people who do predictions online saying he'd go to 4 million, but even 4.5, but you can see that he went closer to 3 million. So this is within that 15 to 20% above the actual cutoff, which is in the B range. And lastly, the 725,000, that's right close within that 5% of the actual cutoff, which of course is an A. Given the results of these predictions, plus the ever-improving predictions over the last couple of weeks, I finally got that GPA for 2018, the cumulative grade point average for all my predictions, up to a 3.0, now at a B level for my predictions. Now when it's coming over to round 2, here's kind of what we look at some past results with, starting first with the 4-star feature arena over on the left here. You can see with Nightcrawler, Loki, and Captain America. For the most part, round 1 was a little bit lower than round 2 would have a big jump. Nightcrawler had a 700,000 jump, whereas Captain America only had a couple 100,000, and really the results for Loki were very similar. But they were the higher numbers at 10 million anyway for an old champ, whereas most of them were below. So maybe that's why there was a little bit of an increase, which I think we'll see here with Black Panther Civil War. Now, when you look at the top 10% chart here, that orange line on the left, you can see that it's been steadily growing. There's not a significant, a big bump between round 1 and round 2, but just a little bit. And then the 11 to 30%. I think that Captain America second round number at 1.5 million is kind of an aberration, kind of an exception, something we won't see often, where normally it's around 2.1, 2.2 million kind of thing. Now we jump out to the 4-star basic arena here in the middle. When we look at some other mid-interest champions like Angela, Punisher 2099, and Vulture, you can see for the most part similar to what we saw with the 4-star basic arena. Round 1 is smaller, round 2 there's a bump, but not a significant bump. I think it's pretty steady around 1 to 200,000. I mean, Angela did have a pretty significant bump, but here more recently we had Vulture and Punisher with a couple 100,000 bump. And when we look at that 11 to 25% orange line tier, you can see that similarly there's a small bump between round 1 and round 2. And lastly, when we go here to the right to the 3-star feature arena for Black Panther Civil War, you can see, looking at the past Nightcrawler, Loki, Captain America arenas, you can see outside of Nightcrawler, who had a decent bump, the results are very similar. And now that 11 to 25% here, you can see that it's kind of plateaued around that 640, which really that's the last milestone reward, right? That's 640,000. So I think that's kind of where folks are going to get that 11 to 25%. That's where that cutoff's kind of landing. So, keeping these all in mind, here are my thoughts for round 2 predictions. I think we'll see a slight bump between round 1 and round 2, starting on the left here for the 4-star feature Black Panther Civil War arena, where I think his cutoff to actually get him to land in the top 800 will be 9.4 million. I think that'll be the actual cutoff. And again, these predictions are for the veterans bracket, so the top 10%, I think it'll be 4.7 million, with the 11% shard tier cutoff coming in right around 2.2 to 2.3 million. Now we jump over to the 4-star basic. Again, I think we'll see a little bump based off of similar past trends. I think it'll come hit around 3.4 million with 11 to 25% cutoff right around 1.7 million. And lastly, I think what we'll see with the 3-star Black Panther Civil War, again, kind of based on those similar trends, they kind of hang around that 725,000 mark. I think that's right around where that cutoff will be, with 11 to 25% around that last milestone reward of 640, maybe even a little bit higher, around 650,000. So these are where I actually think the veteran bracket cutoffs will land. So what I always like to do is also give grind targets, so you kind of give that little buffer just in case some exceptions happen. And who doesn't need more arena chips, right? So here's my suggestion around grind targets to give you like a little safe zone for where I think the cutoffs will actually land. If you really want Black Panther Civil War, 4-star feature over here on the left, you want to go to 9.8 million, go to 4.8 million for that top 10% shard tier, and go to 2.4 million, or maybe even 2.5 million for that 11% shard tier. Jumping over here into the middle for the Green Goblin 4-star basic arena. If you really want Green Goblin, go to 3.6 million with 11 to 25% tier coming in at 1.8 million. And then if you really want Civil War Black Panther Civil War, go to a 3-star, go to 750,000. With 11 to 25% shard tier, make sure you get to 660,000. And again, these suggested grind targets are for the veterans bracket. When it comes to the beginner and intermediate bracket, don't have a lot of past data to do a lot of good trend analysis against, or I feel very comfortable about these. So these are just rough ranges based off of my own personal experiences back in August with this current account, Crafty, my main current, or even that recent free-to-play account that I was playing with. Plus, recent information coming from other folks in the community who share the results on my channel. And I have to use recent results only because there's a lot of fluctuation. I mean, what you see 3 weeks ago for these numbers could change, just as maybe there's more players or there isn't a bunch of new players, so all of a sudden those brackets become less filled kind of thing. So it can really vary from time to time. Anytime there might be a big marketing push by Kabam or something like that, and all of a sudden, or maybe even like when the movies come out, there's a lot of excitement around Marvel material, Marvel properties. These numbers might, go up higher kind of thing as more people come to the game. But anyway, so keeping all of that in mind, these are really rough ranges to kind of just give you some kind of guidance on what to kind of target for as you're grinding. So for the beginner's bracket, 3-star feature arena, 245,000, 4-star basic, 750,000. 4-star feature, 1.2 million. Jumping to the intermediate bracket, 3-star feature around 525,000, 4-star basic around 1.5 million, and the 4-star feature around 1.6 million. Again, these are just rough ranges, something to kind of get you, again, a target to go after kind of thing. But anyway, these are my thoughts for the second round of the Black Panther Civil War and Green Goblin arenas. Would love to hear your thoughts or questions, or especially if you have a difference of opinion on where you think these cutoffs will actually land. Throw them on down in the comment section. We can definitely discuss them there. And if you liked this video, I'd really appreciate you smashing that thumbs up like button. And if you like this and other channels I have on the channel, we'd really appreciate a subscribe. Other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by and have a great day.